Congratulations, you made it. I am so glad you're here, and it is not an accident. My name is Bren Harris, and I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. We have walked through hell. Now we walk through it like we own the place, and you can too, because your story matters. Hear me, warriors. Your story matters. And I don't say this lightly. What's that one thing? That one thing you never thought you could get through. You thought it was a mountain. You thought it was Mount Everest, and you could not get around it, climb it, or go through it. And now here you are. You've made it. And now let's go back and take water to those still in the fire and say, hey, the holidays can be stressful. We're stepping up and we are bringing water to the thirsty ones. We are putting out the fires of stress and anxiety surrounding the holidays. Now, if you do not have special needs children or you do not know anyone who does, this may not apply, but you neither need to feel like a warrior nor be a special needs mom to take this from theory to application. This is the third part in our series, The Holidays and Special Needs Children. The first one, we're talking about gratitude, and I do use American Sign Language. That's how my son learns new words. And we've been at this over 10 years. So this might look halfway put together. I've been that mom more than one time, crying in the kitchen floor, huddled in the fetal position. So if you're on the live, put an L. If you're on the replay, put an R, and let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. If you threw a dart at the United States, hey guys, good to see you. Georgia in the house and Seattle. Great. I'm glad you're here. If you threw a dart right at the United States, that's where we are. We're in Oklahoma. We have an insane amount of tornadoes here. It really is true. And when we moved here, we thought we'd be here a year, military family. And we've been here over 15. So always know that you can bloom where you are planted. And we wanted to come back home because this is where the grandparents are. Now, my son turned 16 this summer, and he has been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. We do not have autism. We have a diagnosis of autism, level 3, which theoretically means lifelong care. Now, my mission is to equip him to be an independent, functioning member of society. That's not always easy, but choose your heart. Do we live with success or do we live with regret? And this is a Sunday evening. We are in the holiday season, and we do not have school for another 10 days. And I just want to say, you're not alone. And there's a lot of things that we have covered. We talk about gratitude. And if you are listening to this on the audio later, just know you can go to YouTube and say ASL, American Sign Language, sign for gratitude or hope or empower. And you can look that up pretty easily. But we're taking our fingertips and putting them at the corners of our mouth and just going forward. Thank you is a single one. The double is gratitude. I love what Melody Beattie says. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more, turns a meal into a feast, and a house into a home. And that's really important. We are not shooting on ourselves this holiday season. And that reads easy, lives hard, people. Yes, it does. And we're probably going to not make everyone happy. That's the surest way to failure, is to try to make everyone happy. But we're setting boundaries, we're having rules, and we're staying regulated emotionally. Now, please check out the other episodes. Yesterday, we talked about detach, and you take your fingers and pull them apart. Detach, and then we're going to say detach with love, not just detach, I'm done, I'm not coming to this family celebration. Say, this is really not what's in the best interest for my child, because they need a safe place. They get sensory overload. They get foods they're allergic to. We have been gluten-free for over a decade, and that has been miraculous. Now, we lived in Japan for 3 years. I had no trouble eating wheat or gluten there. We came back to the States, and apparently it has something to do with the pesticide glyphosate. And know that we can accommodate everyone. And when we come to family functions, we always bring our own stuff. We're celebrating, we're honoring the host, we're bringing a gift, we're being respectful, we're finding out how we can best support them, since they're donating their time and love and energy to host the family. And we also say, don't worry about us. We know what we can eat. We know what fuels us the best and what helps my son stay emotionally regulated. And it's okay. I mean, expectations are premeditated resentments. Thank you, Maya Angelou. And as our emotions go up, our IQ and our ability to respond rather than react plummets. So let us know again in the chat where you're chiming in from. And if you can get value from this, yes, American food can be diabolical. Thank you, Tennille. It can, because I mean, it's owned by a bunch of corporations, and at the biggest shareholder happens to be tobacco companies. And we do not do any artificial colors. We do not do gluten. And I gave up chicken because of the blood type implications for blood clots during the pandemic. So I am a firm believer that we are what we eat. We really are. I know it's a cute little saying we may have heard when we were growing up. And it's the truth. And if you don't feel it, I am a firm believer that we can be open to it. And shout out to my vegan friends and my dairy-free friends. I just love that we can all have our own path and still play in the sandbox effectively together. So tonight we're talking about the word fun. I know that's a little weird, isn't it? Think ski jump. You're going to take your fingers and just ski jump just like that off the end of your nose. Fun. And fun is, am I enjoying this? If I'm not enjoying this, then I'm shooting on myself. Like, I should be here. I should be doing this. Now, if you are in a situation where you've already committed to an event for the holidays with your children, know that you can arrive late and leave early. I mentioned yesterday that my son is excellent in the kitchen. We call him Chef, Chef Zach. And he loves learning new ways to cook food, to organize the pantry, all this stuff. And he did not get that from me. I learned to cook because my son and I were diagnosed with celiac. Wheat and gluten are enemy number one. And that's okay, because we all have different needs and every single person is different. And hear me, I don't have all the answers, but if you met one person with special needs, you've met one person with special needs. It isn't one size fits all, and not everything works for everyone. Now, why do we not do artificial colors? They're petroleum based. They're merely there to make the food vibrant. So our primal brain that always looked for the safe berries back in the caveman days, we knew that those foods were safe. Now the vibrance is merely marketing, because it catches our eye and makes us think, ooh, this must be really delicious because it's so vibrant. No, it's petroleum based. Our bodies were never meant to consume or apply topically these colors. And when we're saying, okay, of course I bring stats, and I bring I bring photos, my friend. The very first thing we're going to do to enhance the holidays and make it best for our children is create a personal pick-me-up soundtrack. Now, if you have a child that has sensory issues, for years, my son has worn these giant ear defender headphones like you use at a gun range. And he was wearing them so often that they started making calluses on his ears. We have since changed to miraculous little earplugs with the loops on them. And that's what they're called, Loop Quiet 2. And not sponsored, but I really would love to send you a code to give you a discount, because they are magic. And it was an easy transition, and it was amazing how effective they are. We've been in loud movies, we've been in loud restaurants and situations, and he's never once asked for the large ear defenders that he was so dependent on. Now, not everyone agrees with this. Lose the weight of other people's opinion and your compulsion to should on yourself during the holidays, because we want to make everyone happy. Expectations are super high because of our culture. Now, we can walk in and say, that just doesn't work for us. We're going to go sit over here and have a quiet space so that we can decompress, and we'll join you guys for dessert, or we'll join you for this. And we don't have to be in the thick of everything. We don't have to participate in every single activity. Um, Love is meeting people where we are. Hear me, warriors. Love is meeting people where we are. And sometimes family can be both a blessing and a curse. And I have just learned that I am here to be an advocate, to be a voice for the voiceless. And since my son is diagnosed nonverbal, I need to do what's best for him and what's best for myself. Now, when I say create a pick me up playlist, he doesn't do a lot of music. We don't play a lot of music in the car. One thing he does love is Thai Brazzle. And he is a clean rapper and he has the best mixes. Oh my gosh. We can be having the worst day and we just kind of play it real low. And it is those feel good chemicals, endorphins, and positivity. So find what works for you. Ty, if you're listening to this, thank you for making amazing music. And then another thing you can do is to know that, on a little more serious note, communicate how you would like for you and your child to be treated at functions, and then don't take their actions or words personally. We don't know what we don't know. And if anyone in the group we're celebrating the holidays with has never been exposed to a child that has special needs, we need to articulate that clearly and effectively and respectfully and say, this is not personal. We need space to relax. If you're bringing desserts when we have events at our house, please be respectful. No artificial color, no gluten. We will provide what you need, because we don't want to ruin a holiday by being exposed and then aggression goes off the charts because children can't, and even adults, have such a challenge processing the petroleum-based artificial dyes. And have you ever noticed how when we go on vacation, we splurge, we're not sticking to our schedule, we're eating lots of extra food, probably having more adult beverages, all of these things. And then we feel like garbage. A lot of that is because of what we are consuming, not just the amounts, which they are a lot. I have fun just like everyone else. I want you to hear me. We're stepping into the holidays with purpose. And now we're being purposely having fun. Now, fun is defined as enjoyment. Once we've articulated and set the parameters for the gathering for our child, try purposeful silliness. I know I'm a warrior mom. I'm telling you all these stats and all these things you never thought about with your food. I'm also saying we got to have some endorphins, some positive feel good endorphins. And that happens when we are intentionally enjoying the moment. Be where our feet are and make it enjoyable. If you're not enjoying it, it falls into the should, and we are not shoulding on ourselves. Just a quick stat. Children laugh 400 times a day. 400 times a day. The average adult, just over 17 times a day. No wonder we're miserable at the holidays, because we've got these unrealistic expectations, premeditated resentments, and we were chasing that feeling of the holidays instead of creating it. Woo, hear me, warriors. We're chasing the feeling of the holidays instead of creating it and enjoying it. Now, our words for today: fun, just like a ski jump, fun, enjoy what you're doing. If you feel obligated or you feel like what you're being asked to do for the holidays is a should, reevaluate and do it respectfully. Articulate what's best for you and your child and your mental health. I mean, if Simone Biles can bow out of an international gymnastics competition because in the best interest of her mental health, then we can step up and be that advocate and say, I just don't have a piece about this. I just don't have a piece about this. Now, if you can relate, put an R. And if you're getting value, put a V. And please share this with someone, because this applies to more than just being a special needs parent. Understand that you set the tempo and expectation, and we teach people how to treat us, especially during the holidays, because it can be turned into such a stressful time. And it's cultural. I mean, we know this. And I just want to encourage you. If children can laugh 400 times a day and the average adult just over 17, we need to pivot and change that and walk in purpose. Now, when I talk about fun and enjoyment, we're doing that to empower ourselves. Take a C to your non-dominant bicep and just bring it forward. Empower. And that's to make stronger and more confident. I can be stronger and more confident when my son is not melting down and attacking everyone within a 20-foot radius. That's what artificial colors do to him. And we got this information from other moms, not from a medical expert. And it is genius. I now carry enzymes that we can carry with us that he can have when this happens, so it encapsulates that bad stuff. And it's the same activated charcoal. And it's the same stuff in the chemical warfare mask that we use. And we are, you can hear this is a loud place tonight. And it's so important that we're prepared, that we step in and say, okay, if this happens, we can pivot to, plan 2, plan 3, situation 4, and that's okay. Oh yeah. And we can say, "Hey, this is okay," because we don't have to live like everyone else. We can walk in purpose and champion our calling and have a lot of fun and create a lot of laughs along the way. Last thing, remember, you'll achieve much more by being consistently reliable than by being occasionally extraordinary. Now, I don't have all the answers. I hope this helps, that you can take theory to application. In this holiday season, you can go from surviving to thriving. Remember, be authentic, legendary, and unapologetically you. Warriors, unite.